Welcome to Smoky Mountain Voices. I'm your hostess, Jen Torres. Sit back and relax and join me with our guest. Okay, welcome to Smoky Mountain Voices. Try not to get tongue-tied here. We are in Lanier Family General Store. It is on Weirs Valley Road. I will put a link in the description so that people can click that and find it. This is a co-owner, Katherine Mitchell. She owns with her fiance, John Lanier. I met Katherine through the Waldens Creek Volunteer Fire Department, and she is one of the firefighters there. Her husband, or fiance, John is assistant chief.
Yes.
Okay. They
Chief
have
of
elections.
operations.
I kind of missed the promotions. He is the assistant chief there. And some of my boys volunteered there, and that's how I met them. And I knew that they have the store here. I'm going to let her talk more about that a little bit later. But right now, Katherine, how long have you been in East Tennessee, Sevier County?
So we moved here from the Memphis area back in 2018. It was probably February, so
Okay.
most of the calendar year.
All right, so a few years. Now, where did you grow up or did you not have a specific?
Oh, well, my dad was military.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so started out in Georgia, there for a few months, went to California, and then he got transferred to Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. So we spent about 3 years there. And then he decided he wanted to retire in Eastern North Carolina. So we were there from about 85 until 2006. And that's when I moved to the Memphis area. Mm-hmm. And I spent about 11 years there. In the interim, met John.
Okay.
And in 2018, we decided to move here. And it was basically the halfway point between there and my home back east.
Right. Okay. So Memphis is different, I know. What is it like when you came here and you're like, I mean, some things have changed a little bit since you've been here, but it was pretty busy then. What is your impression on living in such a touristy place?
Well, we used to visit here just about every year, at least once. Sometimes it'd be every other year. We had a timeshare. And so we would come up here and stay in that because it was more accessible than a lot of the other places. Right. So we didn't have to drive down to Florida or go across the United States to California, that kind of thing. So we just kind of picked here. We'd been here. It was beautiful. And, if you travel and you go on vacation, like we like to take cruises. So every time you go somewhere new, you're like, oh, I want to live here. I want to live here. So this was kind of one of those places.
Okay.
So, we knew what we were in for with regards to the traffic and everything like that. So we've been able to deal with it.
Now, how long have you had the store?
So we opened mid-2020. Okay. So right dead smack in the middle of COVID.
So that was a rough start.
Yeah, but I find it really hard to believe. Now, if we'd had a store anywhere else, doors probably wouldn't have stayed open this long. But with COVID, we were shut down for 2 months. Everybody got the cabin fever and literally headed for the hills. Everybody came here because it was more centralized on this side of the United States, easily accessible from Ohio and all the northern states. And then, your Florida and all the lower states. And they all could just easily come here. It was wide open. Outdoorsy type stuff to do, be able to, be 6 feet from everybody, out in nature kind of thing. So everybody came here. It really boomed up here. So typically a business is going to take 3 to 5 years to be able to start turning a profit and getting, their foot through the door basically as an established business. And COVID actually helped us more than hurt us.
Okay, that's good. And you also do stuff online. I know people can place orders.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have like a website per se where you can just purchase stuff. So you can just follow the Facebook page, and then if you see something you like, most of the people will message me, and then I use Pirate Ship, so I pass the savings on there to our customers, and then give them a call or message them back and let them know what the price is, and they just call in and pay.
All right. Now, I know a lot of what you see in here is it's geared towards the tourists, but I know I personally, I think I covered up my line. I personally came in here to get something that was a little different as a gift for someone that's a little different. So it's good for tourists and locals.
Yes.
If they want some different. Now, I notice over here that you have a wall of fame.
Yeah, we do.
A lot of different pictures of a lot of different people. Tell me about that. And what about like wall of fame? You expect famous people. I've not like examined it too close, but tell me about some maybe famous people that have come in through these doors.
So not everybody on the Wall of Fame has been through the doors.
Okay.
Dolly Parton hasn't been through my doors, but a previous owner in the 90s had a business here, and Dolly shopped here.
Okay.
Same for the Mandrell sisters. I understand they had a show back in the 90s too, and they had shopped in here way before my store, so I'm a little disappointed. The closest I've got to Dolly is this little wooden cutout with her brochures.
Okay.
But so we gear a lot of our stuff to the Smoky Mountains. So when I take in new vendors or buy products, I want them to be Smoky Mountain themed. And one of those themes is moonshine.
Okay.
So I don't know, it was probably 2021 that I started reaching out to some of the moonshiners and people from the TV show. And we started out with Crazy Chuck. He put his t-shirts and his stuff in here. And then I go to some festivals and meet some other folks and give out our cards. So surprisingly, at one of the festivals I went to, I had met moonshiner Mark Rogers from North Carolina. And I gave him one of our cards. And at that time, we had a 10% off discount on there. And then lo and behold, one day in November, I see the door open and I see his head come in. And I'm like, holy cow, that's Mark Rogers. And John was out feeding the horses. So I was like, hey, John, can you come down to the store? And he's like, look, I'm busy. I got to feed the horses. So I said, hey, Mark, can I take a picture of you and message him? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I took a picture of him and John got it. He said, I'll be there in a minute. So I guess if I want anything done, I need to send him a picture of somebody that he wants to meet. But at any rate, he came in and he bought some stuff. And then, we've got Josh Owens merchandise in here. He's one of the most favorite people on the show next to Mark and Digger. And then I've got some of the master distillers. I've got Henry Law. And I do have some merchandise that still has Kenny's autograph on it. Kenny passed away about a year ago. And anyway, some of the merchandise that's here does have his autograph. So if anybody wants to get that, they better get a hold of it because you can't get that back, So, and then we've got Butterbean. He's one of my favorite boxers of all time. And it wasn't until I met him that I found out that he did wrestling and he did MMA and tough man contests. All I knew him for was, the super heavyweight champion, king of the 4-rounder. So, by the 4th round, people were knocked out.
Yeah.
So we've got not just his merchandise line, but he makes turned wooden razors.
Wow.
He does pens.
Multi-talented.
He does a lot of other stuff, but I don't have all that stuff here just because we have a wood lathe and John was wanting to do bowls and things like that. And he does pens too, but he's got all these cool razors.
Yeah.
But half the guys that come in here have the beard, so it's not really going to help them out. So Butterbean's been in here because he brought his merch. Josh has been in here. Henry and Kenny Law. John Boy from John Boy's Barbecue, who was on Moonshiner Smoke Ring. He was featured on there. Marge and In Charge came one day. We did a little fundraiser, try to get people in to donate for Josh after his accident. We've done some meet and greets with some master distillers like Brandon Buffington and Nick Kalo, which, by the way, he is just blown up. That man is fantastic with his marketing ideas and everything. So, for somebody who started off on master distiller and won that to going on and getting his own moonshine line and just hooking up with the Presleys, it's amazing. Speaking of master distiller, John, my other half, was just on an episode of Master Distiller just 2 weeks ago, I guess it was.
And I want to get him on here too. So I'll talk to him about that.
Yeah, so I was excited. It's brought in 3 customers that didn't know about our store. It featured our store. And so they came in and either wanted to meet him or just come check out the store and see what we had. But because we have a moonshine room, we sell stills for North Georgia Still Company. We've got prepackaged 5-gallon grain kits. It's got everything you need to do your own moonshine, supplies and things to go with that. So that brings in folks into the store. So moonshiners will come in and buy supplies, or backwoods moonshiners that nobody really knows about.
Right.
So, and then just to kind of tangent off of that, we've done still building classes as a result.
Okay.
So people have come in 2 or 3 times now to build a 5-gallon still. They've come in and built 10-gallon stills because I guess they realized that they liked it so much they needed something bigger.
Yeah.
And then we offered make a parrot, so that, you know, that was something that they needed in addition to their still, so they could either make a parrot or, you know, build a still on that class. So, you know, we may end up doing a little bit more stuff, like maybe some mash classes where you kind of learn, you know, what's necessary, how to mix your ingredients, you know, what the values are for fermentation and yeast production, that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of branched out from one moonshiner to, you know, having I call it the men's playroom.
Okay.
So usually when guys follow their wives into the store and, you know, they're not here to shop, I just say, hey, men's playroom's right over there. And they'll usually go hang out, and maybe they'll leave with a new hobby.
Okay. Now I mean, it's not just moonshine supplies.
Right. That's correct.
Lots of stuff. Now, how, like, I don't know what I want to say here. Like, it's such a variety, but is it 100% of it, or is a certain percentage of it that is locally made, local artists and craftsmen, that a lot of this in here is locally made?
Yeah. So we try to curate great souvenirs, and some of it's decor. So, you know, not everything is just a souvenir when a customer comes through the doors, because we cater to cabin owners. We do gift baskets, things like that. But when we started doing items on consignment, which, by the way, helps support our locals, you know, it's putting money in the locals' pockets.
Right.
It's putting money in the local economy. It's not shopping at a big box store where, you know, a corporation in some other state's getting that money. So, you know, we've curated these things that people can bring home and remember their vacation by, without going to what looks like a surf shop out on the parkway, where you see the same things in Branson, the same thing in Orlando, the same thing in Myrtle Beach. So about 80% right now of our items here are made locally, and I make some of those items too.
Yeah.
I've got a crafting table set up at home for during the winter months when my hours are reduced, because in the winter time, you know, it just doesn't really justify me being open because it's so cold. This building was built in 45.
Wow.
And it's not super insulated. And some days I'll sit in here, and during the winter time, may or may not get a customer in here. And then I'm running the heater, and it doesn't even heat the whole place, because the heat is basically just in this main room here. And it's just, it costs more to sit here and run the heater than I'm making in the summer or in the winter. So, you know, our hours are reflected as a result of that. But, you know, the locals they make all sorts of different things. They hand paint things. They do everything from, or some are paintings, some are wooden cutouts of bears, Christmas ornaments, you know, all sorts of things. So when we first opened, we did not want to be that souvenir store out on the strip that, you know, has keychains and, you know, this, that, and the other that you can get just about at every single place. And, you know, you can't even find your name on a keychain. You know, they've got everybody's name on it but yours. So we didn't want to be like that. So when we started, you know, curating local goods, it has that Smoky Mountain theme, but it's not just a souvenir. So you could just decorate your own home with it, basically. And of course, some of my customers, it's so cool because they're more like my friends. You come in as a customer, but you leave as family, basically. So they're really excited when they buy from me, and especially like my regular customers, they'll order something and then they'll send me a pic. Well, how many businesses get a message saying, hey, I got my package today?
Right.
I mean, I'm just really shocked when I see that, because they cared enough to say, hey, your package came intact and I got it. And then they send me a picture where they put it up on their wall, or they'll send me their Christmas tree picture showing all the Christmas tree ornaments that they have from the area, or their specific Smoky Mountain area. So, you know, we keep a little bit of everything in a way. Of course, we're not your typical general store. I have people come in here asking for ice or for cigarettes or beer or moonshine. So we don't carry any of that. But, you know, it's something different. These are high quality, well-made products that aren't, you know, Dollar Tree stuff. If you understand
they're
the difference.
They're unique.
Yes. A lot of it's unique. Yes, ma'am, for sure.
So I will put a link down in the description, so be sure and check that out. The Facebook page is probably the best to go through.
So everything that's posted on Facebook usually posts on Instagram, but then my TikTok, that's a little bit more, I wouldn't say not family oriented. There might be a little bit more spicy stuff on there versus what you'd find on Facebook.
So make your choice.
You might get you won't get everything on TikTok, but you'll get some exclusive stuff on TikTok. Like when Granny was alive, she passed away recently. She was my Sunday Walmart greeter here. We had a rocking chair set up over there, and she'd sit there and sleep like this until a customer came in, and just be here because she enjoyed people coming in. And we would do videos with her that were funny, and sometimes maybe not quite the Facebook type stuff. So we'd put that on the TikTok page. But she became family just like that to our customers as well. And I don't know if I should use the word devastated, but there were a lot of them that were really upset because they really enjoyed her videos. And, you know, it made her feel like she was a part of something bigger, that she was able to touch other people's lives. Just being here and being the center of attention for that little bit of time left that she had on this earth. So.
You're going to make us both cry.
I've got Kleenex.
I'm a sympathetic crier.
Yeah, me too.
So we've talked about it. I was interested in this. So you're a firefighter, and when I came in, you had actually just heard 2 calls. How does that work with, is there any time that you need to, like you are needed on a call and you have to, do you have someone to come in and watch the store? Or do you just leave and close it? How does that work?
So I've actually got a sign up on the door that says temporarily closed due to a fire department response call. And I had to put it that way because if I put a fire call, they're going to automatically think fire. So the fire department handles more than just fires. You know, everything from lift assist to medical calls to car wrecks, that kind of thing. So I just kind of left it broad. So now that our department is a quasi-paid volunteer department, because we're able to pay people to be on shifts or for running calls, our department is manned 24/7 now. So what that means for me is I run less calls because I'm here at the store. If there's a brush fire or a house fire or something like that, unless they need a medical person, then I generally am not going to run. I'll if it seems like there's going to be a lot of injuries, like a motor vehicle accident, or maybe there's a cardiac arrest, or house fire, brush fire, that kind of thing, then I'll typically go to those. I'm the safety officer, so I've got a responsibility to the department for ensuring that everybody's safe on a fire ground. But other calls, you know, the fire alarm activations or whatever, they don't need my help. So with them being staffed, it's not like we're all running from our homes anymore to make it to the station on time. There's somebody there, so they can just get in the vehicle and go. So that has significantly diminished the number of calls I run, which is sad because I liked running calls. But that does mean that I can still devote more time here at the store versus being away. But I'll just flip the sign at the door, and that way people know when it says be back shortly, they know that I'm not gone for a long time. Now, if they're local, they're going to understand if it's a brush fire, that may take a while. But generally for like a medical call with travel time and whatever, could be gone an hour, maybe less, just really depends. So.
Okay, so one more question.
Mm-hmm.
What is something, some little small thing in your life right now that you just really enjoy doing or having? Like it could be a favorite drink or just a small activity or something you do every day, or maybe even something you don't get to do every day, but just something small that just brings you enjoyment and you could see yourself just continually doing it just because of that. Just some little personal.
You're gonna laugh at me because it's not small, but we like taking cruises.
Okay.
That is that is our enjoyment, both John and mine. So I really wanted to plan on going to Florida, and go to Disney World and Universal Studios this winter, but Grandma passed away. Okay. So that kind of kept me busy, handling her affairs and things like that, because she lived with us for about 3 years. And so, my life was centered around her and making her happy and making sure that she was taken care of. So now that she's passed, I will be able to get some time back, but, handling financial matters and things like that after a death can still be time consuming. So my relaxation comes when we're able to go on a cruise. So,
do you like the little short ones or you like the longer ones?
Well, we usually take at least a week.
Okay.
Anything less than that's a waste.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, especially when you have to drive to Florida to catch a cruise. So
you'll drive down.
Oh yeah. Okay. And that's why I absolutely hate it when he plans a cruise out of Miami. But because I'm such a tightwad, frugal. I'm frugal. When he says that it's costing us less if we go to Miami, then he usually gets away with it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Well, I appreciate it.
I will link any link that she sends me. I'm going to put it in my description. And so you can click on those and go visit the Facebook page of Lanier General Store. Check out all the stuff they've done if you have not checked it out before. It's a very interesting little store here. And also, if you are visiting the area or if you're local, come check it out in person. I guarantee you will enjoy. I spent 30 minutes to an hour in here just browsing. So you will enjoy it, I guarantee. And thank you again for coming and joining me on Smoky Mountain Voices. I will see you next time.
Thank you.